Please.
Fucking burn this fucking house down. I swear to God. Yo, what's good? Easy Breezy Eve here, and tonight we got The Haunting of Hill House season finale. Silence slays steadily. Guys, my heart is racing. I'm not sure why. I'm anxious to see the finale. I'm excited. I'm like terrified at the same time. I'm not sure I'm supposed to be feeling this way about a show, but you know what? Like, expectations are high, and I hate to say it because I don't want to psych myself out. I still, Bly was amazing. The whole season, this season has been amazing. The performances are amazing, and you know what? I can only give my most genuine thoughts and reactions. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that because I owe you guys that. Before I keep going though, I just wanna say, if you've been watching, thank you so much. Go ahead and hit the like, it'll help the channel out a lot, and subscribe if you wanna see more reactions by me. And I will be here when Midnight Mass finally comes out for all of you Flanagan fans. In the meantime, I will be watching some of his movies that I haven't seen. I haven't seen any of his movies yet. Basically, in the Screaming Mimi's episode, we saw the Olivia episode, and what that entailed was sort of her breakdown into sort of madness, if you want to call it that. And we got the reveal that Abigail was not real? Wait, was real. Yeah, she was alive. We learned more about Poppy Hill and Hazel Hill. Hazel Hill, I think it was her that led Abigail away. Some of you guys also said it might have been Mother Dudley, Mr. Dudley's mom. I'm not really sure. So really, this episode will be a real continuation of episode 8. We know that Luke got to the house, tried to burn it down, and he sees his mom. He was grabbed by Poppy Hill's ghost, and there's going to be a fight basically between the house and Luke and the Cranes. Stephen and Hugh are on the way. Elizabeth Razor, what's her name? Shirley and Theo, they're on their way, and it'll be sort of like Luke is really there to avenge Nell's death, right? And the rest of the family is going there because they're trying to save Luke, but at the same time, I think they're just going to try to stop the house. So we'll see. Will the house continue on, or will it be destroyed by the end of the season? I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens. And I've been saying this from the beginning, like about the kittens being sort of representative of the children, and so far nobody else has died except for Nell. But I'm not sure I'm too confident about all of them surviving. So I hope they all do, because losing Nell is hard enough. They've already lost Olivia, really, even though it was a long time ago, and Abigail died because of this, as well. So that's 3 people dead because of the house. And yeah, let's just get right to it. I've been talking too much. I'll talk about a little bit more about what I think about the episode and the season as a whole after the reaction. Anyway, let's just get right to it. All right, here we go. We got this stairs. Is that Shirley? Ooh, I'm excited. I'm like shaking. Oh, that's why the ropes are there. I didn't notice that, I think, the first time. You've seen this before. This is from the previous episodes.
Not a pony.
That's when Theo was dancing in there.
Could be.
Wait,
I saw the shadow under the door.
that's not where Theo was. That's not the same room.
Hello?
There's no black mold in that room.
If there's a pony in there, it's
Nobody's
dead.
been able to go in that room. Is this door? Oh, but
Where's the freaking key?
this door can lead to any room in the house? Is that what this door is? Like a portal door? Does that, if it is a portal door, does that mean that the tea party room was another room in the house with black mold?
You're not funny, Luke.
Or was the tea party room the actual room? The intro. It's the last time we'll see this intro. Let's see, it's the last episode. Let's see. Let's not skip it. Okay, it's the sculptures. They're crackling. They're weathering. Oh, okay. So they're breaking off and weathering, and outside is their serene faces, but inside they're screaming and terrified. So it's like paralleling our protagonists in a way. I dig it.
And stopped in one.
This must be a flashback to
I am home.
when he wrote the first book.
Hey.
But that were in an apartment. They were in an apartment though.
Great.
Is she pregnant?
I was gonna.
What?
I know, but she wants fries.
Is this like an alternate reality?
2
Words.
pages.
Oh.
I always said.
What's
I'd
going
never
on?
Do a follow up to Hill House, and I think this is why.
Oh, this is a flash forward.
Best cure for writers.
It's a flash forward. Oh, well, at least he's alive. That's good. And he's clearly a changed person. He's grown because he decided to have a baby, salvaged his marriage,
Certainly, there are places.
took
which
his
attach
father's
themselves
advice.
to An atmosphere of hum houses are born bad.
Born bad.
Bad is an understatement. Born fucking
where are you?
evil as fuck, like the devil himself.
And I just got to.
Oh, okay. So he's writing.
You don't have to.
He's writing the events that's gonna
You said
happen in
yourself
this
you're never
episode.
gonna publish it.
I do know.
Never gonna publish. I bet he publishes. It's fucking Steven. But if he really doesn't publish it, then
little
again,
girl,
it
yeah.
shows his growth as a character.
Who's getting ready to join this family.
And he already has
One day
money.
she's gonna ask about her grandfather and about her
She? Gonna name her
uncle
Eleanor?
in that house.
What?
She's gonna hear all sorts of stories and speculation like you did when you were little.
What do you mean hear about Uncle Luke
Whose voice
and her
do you
grandfather?
You need
What do you
to
mean?
hear the most.
Ask them yourself.
You
Don't
need to
fucking
hear
tell me they're
from
dead.
you.
No. The show's trying to
This
trick
is for
me.
little
Because that's
Eleanor.
fucked up. Yeah, little Eleanor, okay. No. What do you mean hear about his Uncle Luke? Don't tell me y'all killed Luke. That'd be some fucking bullshit. This better be like a dream or
This
something.
house reared its great
Here we
head
are.
back against the sky with never meant to be lived in.
Hey, that's from the book. House Without Kindness. I remember that. That's straight from the book. That's how they describe the house in the book. House Without Kindness. See, never meant to be lived in. Is that what he said? Gasoline.
He's here. I think I
Of
know where to
course.
find him.
Oh, the banging is starting. The banging is starting. What are you fucking stopping for? Fucking dip the fuck out. Are you fucking kidding me? Does he still think it's not real? Oh, Abigail. That motherfucker is tall as fuck. Why is his ghost so tall? I don't think he's that tall. What happens if you look at him?
Fear, logic, the willing relinquishing of reasonable patterns.
Oh, he's about
We
to cry.
yield to it,
He's
or
about
we
to
fight
cry.
it.
Oh, he's scared as
Cannot
fuck.
meet halfway.
He's a good actor. I like him. Yeah. That's not a fucking vision now, is it? It's fucking real ghost, motherfucker. Upstairs. That's where we
I am
are.
home. I am home, I thought, and stopped in wonder at the thought.
I am home.
I am home.
I am home. Oh, that's from the book. Ah, it's from the book. I'll talk about that at the end.
Dad,
Only when it wants to be.
I like how they
the
like
hinges, how hard can it be?
make that
tried
door
everything.
super red. Hey!
Maybe with the two of us. Dad?
Oh, see, it does have the black border on it. No!
And then the door opened and I saw Luke, and then
Luke died.
What do you mean Luke died? You fucking kidding me?
he was alive on the floor.
Y'all fuckers killed
The
Luke.
door closed. And
Y'all killed Nell and y'all killed Luke,
And then he
man.
died.
No.
You have to say it. You gotta finally say it, Steve.
That's the problem.
I know.
Door closed, and then
Fuck.
I don't remember coming back to California. I don't remember us reconciling.
This shit ain't real. Like I said, this is some bullshit.
Pregnant.
This is a dream, like the mother's future
Well,
premonition.
of course you don't. Because you haven't written it yet. I mean, is anything real before you write it, Steve? The things you write about are real. The people are real. Their feelings are real. Their pain is real. But not to you, is it? Not until you chew it up and you digest it and you shit it out on a piece of paper. And even then, it's would feed you and fuck you and pay the bills while you squinted over some novel that nobody was going to read. And that was
This is the house.
me, honey. I
The
wasn't real.
fucking house.
If I was real, you never would have walked out that door. She won't be real either.
Yo, they just tricked the fuck out of me. I really thought he was a changed
You're
man.
like your dad. Eats me from the inside, and I burst like a blister. Will you lose your mind?
What
Mother.
the fuck?
Steve.
No. Oh, they're all here. What's going on? The house is like tricked them in there one by one.
Oh my God.
No! No! What? How did they have heroin on him? No! Fuck! Fucking hate this house. Whoa. We are on some fucking time flashback, flash forward, weird timelines journey right now.
I need.
I don't need coffee, man. I need whiskey.
I'll sleep on the goddamn floor. Please.
Joey. Did she come back? No, this is a fucking
What do you
dream shit. The house is doing it to all of them.
For a few days. We're already paid up, and they even have room service. Phone, remember?
Why is the house is pulling all the tricks on them. Just trying to
Why did
break
you
them
call
from
me?
the inside.
You never did tell me the alley rats are chewing on me right now.
Is that what
No,
really
no,
happened to
it's-
Joey though? Think of your sister.
Come with me, Luke.
Think of your sister.
No.
Fuck you, house, for doing that if you did that. I swear to God, you better not. Oh. No, it's not real.
Eyes.
No. But how did he have the heroin? Fuck. The rat poison. Oh.
Steve, wait!
No. Oh! No, not Luke. I still don't feel good. No! What the fuck happened to him? What? This house is like malicious. He's using his voice.
Dad!
Yo, this house is pulling all the tricks. I really don't trust it anymore. Oh, yeah, we still don't know who the fuck that is.
Dad! Dad!
Oh, good. They didn't consume him
Charlie!
and shit. Oh! What the fuck is that fucking power shit? What, tap your forehead shit. Why would she ask for that? Oh, ha 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 ha. Hey, that's a move though. Oh, it's like a conference.
Starting your own home.
Oh, it's time to
Here, let us
close.
call.
Me either.
You were
Damn,
true to your word.
he looks disappointed.
I always am.
I'd be
Very
disappointed
well
too.
behaved. No, don't do it.
I'm not. I'm just saying, since we missed last
Gonna
call,
do it.
I've got all the makings.
She's like, you're gonna do it. Ooh. Ooh. He's married too.
I did really good right up until the end there.
You did. The 1 yard line. Such a guy.
Can't help it. It's taken 60 million years to develop the carnivorous biped you see before you.
Thank you anyway.
Did you get away with murder or some shit?
That's not what you said, though.
Oh.
You looked at my ring, and then I said, you walked out of the bar.
Oh.
You had that martini, didn't you? How old
She
was Jaden
wasn't
then?
mad
6.
about
Allie was
her husband kissing Theo. She
diapers and bills for years.
was projecting.
Just bought the business, and even then, your anger at Theo, Kevin,
Fuck you.
Yeah.
so righteous.
So
You wanna
righteous.
Look at it, dude. Who wants to love?
Oh. It's
Is
her
everything all
own.
right?
That's the dude
I
from
think she's just a little
the
overwhelmed.
beginning. Trying to cover. Oh. Don't open your eyes. Don't open your eyes. Don't open your eyes. Don't open your eyes. Oh, no. Ah.
Shirley.
Ah! Come on.
We need help.
Come on, man. Can't believe they did Luke like that, man.
Until his scratches just sounded like rats in a wall.
That's William Hill she's talking about.
You felt small. So
Talking about the fucking Hills, the sisters.
you.
No. No. No.
She's being touched.
No. You.
No, no, save her! No, Nell's ghost should be around here.
Breathing.
Oh no, he's bleeding from the mouth. No.
Go, go.
Check his pulse.
Fuck this house, man. Shit. Oh, he died in the house. So he wakes up. Oh, he sees everyone. Is that Nell, baby Nell?
So much.
He sees them again. Abigail.
Where are we?
We're home, my love. And I fell in love with that house. And with houses all at once. I can live there forever, I thought. No one will ever find me there either. I will light a fire in the cool evenings and toast apples. And
They killed Luke, man.
people will come to me to have their fortunes told. And I will brew love potions for sad maidens. I will have a Robin. I almost named you Robin. Your dad
I guess he
is
sees his
Crane.
mom again.
Robin Crane. But when I looked at you for the first time, you were Luke. You just were. I almost forgot. You big boy hat.
Oh,
No, we're going to have a tea party with big boy hats and cups of stars.
He must realize now.
We're so glad
Where he
you're
is.
finally here. Go.
Listen to Nell.
Why would you want your brother to go?
Listen to Nell.
He just got here. You're awake. And I'm so sorry, honey. It wasn't your fault. Never once. You have a seat.
Don't
Listen to Nell.
go.
Why does she keep saying that?
This is a gift
This is the
for
wrecking
us
room.
all.
Not if I'm dead. I don't.
Don't.
No, I have to get.
No!
Please.
He made it! He made it back! Yeah!
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes! Oh my god. Nell saved him.
Save me.
I feel a little clearer just now. We have.
No?
All of us have. Wouldn't have changed anything. I need you to know that.
No.
The rest is confetti.
Hey.
So many times and we didn't know it. All of us.
Nellie?
No. Not a heart.
No.
A stomach. All this time we tried to get into this room.
He was still outside.
I feel like I've been here before.
Well, no
Yeah.
fucking shit.
All of us have. In a long line between the beginning and the end.
No, that's not how time works, man.
But I
Not
was
here.
wrong.
Not in Hill House.
It's not like that at all.
Yeah.
Our moments fall around us like rain.
Right.
Or snow. Or confetti.
It's like what the mom does to houses and the parents do to houses is what Shirley does to bodies.
This room is like the heart of the house.
No, not a heart, a stomach. It was your dance studio, Theo.
Oh, she was actually in
It's my
there.
toy room. It was
Yes,
a reading
Mom's
room
reading
for
room.
Mom.
They just never
The
realized it?
game room for Steve.
Oh my
For
god!
Shirley.
They just didn't realize it! The treehouse!
But it was always the red room. Put on different faces so that
Oh.
still and while it digested.
Oh.
I'm like a
They just
small
never
creature
realized
swallowed by a
it.
monster.
I don't know how to do this without you.
No. Don't say shit like that, man.
I am not gone. I'm scattered into so many pieces, sprinkled on your life like new snow. There's so much I want to say to you all.
I'm so sorry our last words were in anger.
You guys did her fucking dirty. I swear.
Sorry. I'm sorry that I didn't answer the phone.
But you did. So many times.
I'm sorry if I didn't listen. I'm sorry.
Wouldn't have changed anything. I need you to know that. Forgiveness is warm. Like a tear on a cheek. Think of that and of me when you stand in the rain. I loved you completely. And you loved me the same. That's all. The rest is confetti.
Damn, you never got to see Nell. Fucking burn this fucking house down. I swear to God. Nell or Olivia? Not one of the fucking Poppy, I swear to God.
The first was young Miss Groton. She tried not to let him in. He stabbed her with a corn knife. That's how his crimes began. The next was Grandma Groton, so old and tired and gray. She fed off her attacker until her strength gave way. The next was Grandpa Groton, sitting by the fire. He came up close behind him and strangled him.
I know this
with
poem. It's from the book.
the last. He stove him in the short rib,
Luke says it in the book. There's something behind her.
and then he spit tobacco juice.
Oh, stay the fuck away, bitch. That's right.
Fucking
Nothing sad
smack her ass
about
back to
that.
the 1920s.
But all those wedding beds go cold.
Journey's end.
In lovers meeting.
Lovers meeting.
Ah, shit.
I still.
He knew that if he came back, he'd see her.
No, love. That wasn't
That
me.
wasn't me.
That was just you.
She's like, that was some
What were you
bullshit.
doing? You're finally safe.
But no.
She still thinks like she's trying to save the children.
They're dying.
He was the one that's got to save them.
You kept them from me.
They're waking.
To keep them safe.
You took them.
She's
And
mad
you
at him.
hurt them, Hugh. And they suffered.
They did. They all do. I saw our daughter dance at her wedding. Her smile was like a light and it was reflected in everyone's faces.
Our forever house. It always
This
was.
is our forever house.
Nothing
You
bad
see,
will ever-
when she started drawing those things in the blueprints, she's decided this is the forever house. I talked about the forever house in my Easter egg book
I know you
from
love
the previous
people in that
episode.
room more than
The Easter
anything.
egg book
I won't let you
references.
take them away again.
Nope, no, she's
They'll
not.
die.
Oh no, are they gonna like
They stay. They're
fight
dying
or
now.
something?
Our babies
Not like
are
physically,
dying.
but
Let them go. You have always said that our job was to send them sailing
That was a dream.
out into the world.
A dream. That
was a
into the
dream.
world. Let them go.
I'll be alone again.
I will make a promise to you that I will keep forever.
no, he's gonna sacrifice
Please,
himself.
let me fix this. Journey's end.
In lovers
Lovers
meeting.
meeting. I don't.
You had that engraved on my watch. Do you remember?
Oh, I didn't
But I
even
was
realize
wrong.
that.
Journeys don't end. Not if you love someone. They don't end at all.
Oh, we had 5.
No. Stay with me.
Oh, shit.
Please.
Come on.
Luke. Stay awake. Stay
Good. The door's open. Don't tell me he's already dead, actually.
Yeah. Come on.
Come on. Steven saw it. Steven saw his body.
Sacred Heart's closest. I can navigate. Are you guys coming with us or?
Go ahead. There's one more thing your brother and I have to do here.
Oh,
I'll see
no.
you there. What?
We'll meet you at the hospital.
Dad, what did I see?
This is when he came back. Oh, we don't know what happened when he came back the second time. He's gonna find Liv's body.
Why are you here? Did you see? What happened?
I don't know. We were looking for.
But they don't come at night. Oh no!
Oh no, they don't know about Abigail. I didn't think we'd see this, actually.
I can fix this. I can fix it.
We need to get the police.
Why are you here?
Our daughter snuck out of her bed tonight. And
He saw. He doesn't put it together yet. No.
No. Oh no. No.
both of their children.
They They only had 2 children? For some reason, I thought they had another one.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Don't tell me they're about to kill themselves too, to be with Abigail. That's how he knows. He knows he can't stay anymore. But as long as the house is there, she will be there.
I'm gonna burn it.
If they do that, they can't see Abigail again.
Make sure that every room.
We won't say anything about Olivia.
Won't.
This shit's more fucked up for the Dudleys.
That wasn't her.
We know that.
If
You keep the
If
house.
If you keep this house, keep us on, but
Let
leave
it
it here
starve.
so I can see her.
I think in the last episode they used feed.
this house, it's full of precious,
Feed, stomach, starve.
precious things.
It's
And they
alive,
don't all
this
belong
house.
to you.
Where are they now? I wonder if they're still around. When the
you
mother
don't.
was chasing them.
But they can't be told.
Oh,
I'm
you.
sorry. No.
Yeah, he's
I'm
been
sorry,
there.
Dad.
Oh,
This
he's
is all
right.
yours now.
This is all yours
The
now.
house
He has to protect it now.
and the promise. I want you to know,
The promise.
never been prouder of anything. Anything. Ever.
Man.
Take care of each other. Dad. And be kind to each other. And nothing else.
The young dad.
Be kind. I was so lucky to be your dad.
He saved his kids.
Home. I am home, I thought.
Most times a ghost is a wish.
Most times a ghost is a wish.
Like a marriage is a wish. Tonight.
Oh, she's gonna tell.
You're scaring me.
She's gonna tell.
I have something I have to tell you.
However
ago.
it happens.
6 years ago, I went to that conference in Chicago.
They'll make it through.
I wish.
Walls don't work that way.
What about these?
Oh!
Oh, trash.
She actually started dating for real. Oh, what did she? What did she just throw up? I missed it. Oh, she's taking off her gloves. She's not afraid anymore.
Of logic. The willing relinquishing of reasonable patterns.
Is that Dudley? He's bringing his wife here to die in the house so they can be here forever.
or is it to see Abigail one more time?
Is love.
Oh, she died and she's holding their first baby. 2 years sober?
Relinquishing reasonable patterns.
Nice.
Or we fight it, but we cannot.
I wonder
meet
if Joey's
halfway.
here. No, she's not. She probably did die in an alley.
Without it, stone of Hill House.
Fucking house survived, man. Not because of the house, but because of who's in it.
Walk together.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Alright.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm destroyed, man. I'm fucking destroyed, dude. And I'll tell you guys why. But the first thing I want to say about this episode is like, as a finale, obviously, I'm crying. I couldn't handle it. It's really good. It's really good, and I think that it just reminded me of something. It reminded me, one of you guys in the comments said about like how this show, it hits hard
Because of the whole family aspect.
but like it hits harder for parents. I think like the thinking was like it might hit harder for parents, especially when Nell died and like Hugh was there at the funeral, and it, you know, if you know how it feels like to lose a child, as like, you know, I don't have children, but like, for example, I mean, I know people close in my family, like my family, that have lost children, and it's all true. I think it's all true. It's also hard for people that have lost their parents, which is why I was like, I just couldn't help but think about, you know, my father when Stephen, you know, really found out that he was, you know, that he died, really killed himself to stay in the house, but to sacrifice for his children. That hit me really hard because I know what it's like to lose a father, and that is like, I think that is the kind of the heart of both Hill House and Bly, like the shows, like the whole family and losing loved ones aspect of it, where here it's more of the nuclear family, but in Bly it's more of like, it's really strong on the relationship aspect, right? So they're sort of two halves of the same, two sides of the same coin almost. But like, I think I'm not demeaning people who maybe haven't gone through that, maybe some of the younger viewers, but I'm just saying that you sympathize and you empathize. You can do both of that if you've experienced similar things, and I think that's what this show does really well. And that's, you know, that's why at the end there, at some point, I was out of it, you know, like I started thinking about my own life almost. So anyway, now I'm talking about myself too much. As I said, this episode destroyed me. So there's no sort of predominating character in this episode, but if I had to give it to someone, it would have to be Steven, because he began the episode, he ended the episode, and he was the one explicitly bringing the themes of the show back into this episode, like the theme of the house, right? He mentioned in the beginning, what is that house? That house is, you know, you're not meant to be lived in, things like that. I'm home. The theme of coming home. He also ended the show the way he began it, which is his sort of reinterpretation of what is a ghost, right? This episode sort of, it showed the characters sort of their worst nightmares in a way. For Steven, it was the conversation he had with his future pregnant wife about like Steven, sort of his reality of how he treated sort of his life and his wife as something that he's kind of taken advantage of for his own career. For Luke, it was, you know, trying to stay clean and trying to overcome the addiction, but then, you know, he doesn't But even though he really does, but like in a way, if he did meet Joey again and go into that hotel room, chances are he probably would have used again, right? And that didn't happen to him, thankfully. Elizabeth Razor, her character, Shirley, we finally figure out who that person is. He's not even a ghost, right? Like, so that's what I love about this show. Like, he's not even a ghost. Like, he's, in a way, like, he's a ghost the same way it was sort of brought up by Steven in the beginning of the show. Like, the same way Olivia was the ghost that Hugh had been talking to throughout his whole life, but Olivia, the real Olivia ghost from this episode, said, no, that is not like me. That is not a ghost. That is you. Just like Elizabeth Razor, it was her guilt. That is her. It wasn't the ghost she was seeing. It's just that guilt had always been there. Theo, I mean, it's hard for me to interpret Theo. But in this show, her sort of nightmare, if I can call it that, was her being that night with her now girlfriend. So again, it's harder for me to interpret. Okay, the touch is her ability, let's not think about the supernatural aspect of it, but the touch is her ability to empathize, sympathize with people and understand their experiences, right? And wearing the gloves, she cuts herself off from that. Like, and if you sort of equivocate it to a normal person, right? Like, we, as most people, at least some people do it better than others, you can empathize and sympathize with someone else through their experiences. But if you put a veil over that, if you wall yourself up, over, like, because the girlfriend ghost talked about the William Hill walling himself literally, and like, if you wall yourself up off from other people's emotion and connection, you end up being trapped inside. Yes, you're walling yourself off from others, but you are also trapped inside. So I think that is more of Theo's sort of her nightmare, which makes sense because then she ends up having, a real relationship. I guess in a way she realized that it's not so bad, to, finally be settled down and be in a relationship. Nell saved Luke much in the same way Hugh saved the children and Stephen in particular. I do want to mention though that in this specific finale, it brings home the aspect of time. I think Nellie sort of reestablishes that, like, in a speech, really. It's like, I used to think that time is linear like a domino, but in the Hill House, it's everywhere and it's like rain or like confetti. And that sort of hits home that I kept saying about, like, especially with her ghost, the bent neck lady, how she can see her own ghost of the future. It's because when you're a ghost in Hill House and when you're inside those walls, you are not bound by time, no longer. And we see this when the father, Hugh, he dies, and then Stephen sees Hugh as he knows him in the present, and then it cuts to Stephen and then cuts back to Hugh, and Hugh is young again. And we also see Nell when Luke dies for a second, and then like we see Nell on the tea table at the tea party. She's young Nell, and then she immediately becomes old Nell again, because there's nobody's really bound to time anymore, right? And then when Mrs. Dudley dies, she's old, then she immediately becomes young Dudley. So, it sort of hits home this idea, this timelessness. And this timelessness is actually, it's an important theme because it's what Olivia is looking for. It's the answer to her problem. Like, she doesn't want the children to grow up and be out there in the world, dying basically in the world. So better die now in this house and be as they are forever. Which is, sort of the motivation of Olivia and the motivation of the house. Maybe it uses that supernatural aspect of itself to sort of capture the people that it wants to feed on, right? And then, that's sort of the time aspect that was completely fleshed out. I don't even think it was implicit anymore. Like relating it to rain, which goes back to the spillage of water thing. You know, it just sort of more descriptions of the same concept that time is fluid in Hill House. Overall though, I think it's a great ending, and the only thing that would have disappointed me is, I don't know, you know what it is? Like if they killed Luke, like for some reason, I feel like he's been through so much like throughout his life. Like I know Nell did as well, but like Nell died already. So like Luke is like, if Nell dies, you can't kill Luke as well. And I really got bamboozled. I thought they killed him too. And I was really like disappointed. And so when you see Nell save him, that was like, it was like tears of joy, man. So that was great. That was great as well. So pretty much like they all, besides them three, like besides the three who died, they all were able to move on. And the house, in its own fucked up, twisted way, saved them, you know, allowed them to grow and keep moving forward, but at the expense of the house still being there. And like all good horror, the horror never really ends. So, I mean, even though we want to see the house burn down, we know that it's not really gonna burn down, and most likely it's gonna stay on forever, because that's just how horror works. So, season review. I'm gonna keep this one short because I've kind of reviewed every episode in every one of my reactions. Some of you guys do talk about like comparing this to Bly, and I don't want to compare them like that. I don't want to give this a ranking out of 10 or out of 5 stars. I'm not gonna do anything like that, but I do think Hill House is probably the best horror series out there. I know that maybe I haven't seen much, or like, but it's the performances are so good. Like every single one. I'm going to, whatever the cast in Hill House, whatever they're going to be in, like in the future, I'm going to have to at least check out what their projects are, because they're all so good. You know, I mean, Timothy Hunt and Carla Gugino, they're bona fide, right? You know, Luke, the guy who played Luke, he was in Invisible Man, the most recent one. That was really good. That was a good one. Michael Huisman, he was in Game of Thrones. There's a movie out on Netflix that I want to watch. Him and Lily James. I'm gonna watch that soon. Elizabeth Razor, she was in Easy. I know that show just ended, but she's in like 4 total episodes, and her storyline in that series is like some of the best on that show, and her acting is great. All of you guys know that Henry Thomas was the kid from E.T.? Like that's fucking insane. I didn't know that literally until like yesterday. Pedretti, I mean, she's in You, and she's in Bly, so I'm looking forward to You season 3. I'm sure she'll be in that. So, you know, they're all really good. And I want to give a special shout out to the actors who played the kid versions of the Crane children. They're all great. I hope they have long, illustrious careers as actors or whatever they become in the future. But shout out to whoever played Luke. That kid is so cute, and Nell as well, the Nell kid actor. The writing, I mean, look, the writing is amazing. They've made a piece of work, right? Hill House by Shirley Jackson. Something that is like, it's so good. It's like, it's influenced so many horror writers, Stephen King in particular. Even I think the guy who wrote Coraline, what's his name? Neil Gaiman. I'm pretty sure he wrote, like, he praises her as well, very well, as being influential. Like you shouldn't, like people that have created works like that, like you shouldn't really touch it because they're so good. And you trying to adapt it into a TV show, 99 times out of 100, it will not live up to expectation because the expectations are so high. So basically what I'm trying to say is what Mike Flanagan has done here, reimagined it in a way that's so intricate and so true, not to the storyline, because like, it doesn't matter if you're faithful to the story. Like that is not what a piece of art is supposed to do. You're supposed to capture the essence and the feeling that the readers and the viewers and the audience has, and replicate that in a different medium. Like in this case, in a series, he did that. Like doing it in a way that you're word for word interpreting a book, that never works because they're just different mediums. So you have to make things come across differently because they're just different arts, right? And I think Mike Flanagan did that. In many ways, he surpassed it, right? Because for me, reading the book, like the book is amazing as a piece of writing. Like it's great. The amount of times I just felt this show hit me in my soul, like is a lot, right? That's how much it touches the audience. So you cannot deny that aspect of this show. Similar to Bly, but for me, I feel like Hill House has the edge because I think because of the personal connection I have to that feeling of love and loss is closer to the characters in Hill House than they were in Bly. So yeah, but they're both 10 out of 10s. I don't want to give this a ranking out of 10. Like I can't praise them both enough. The episode, well, I mean, look, this has to be the best episode of the season, just by default, because I think me personally, I felt everything they were trying to deliver in this episode. And usually finales are written that way, and they succeeded, right? They're successful in that sense. But the second best was probably the Bent Neck Lady episode because of the reveal. I really thought the Luke episode was great as well, and specifically the episode 9 was really good as well. So, I mean, those are the top 4, I think, in my mind as far as the season goes. But this finale, blew me out of the water. I do think out of all the relationships in this show, the most important relationship, and I know there's the twin thing going on between Luke and Nell, but that is true, and they're an important relationship, narratively speaking as well. But I think the soul of the show, it has to be between Steven and Hugh. Even more so than Hugh and Olivia. I think it's about Steven and Hugh because think about who is saved at the end. Yes, all the children, most of the children, I should say, are saved, but Steven is not only saved by Hugh, but even in the flashbacks of Hugh, we see his relationship with Steven the most. We don't really see him interact in a way that sort of highlights the relationship of a father and son relationship between him and the other children. It's really mostly Steven and him. Steven was the person that he trusted to tell the truth about the father. He actually had killed himself. He made a deal with the house. Very similar, spoilers for Bly. Similar to Danny and Bly, I know that Nell is the Bent Neck Lady here, but I think that the final sacrifice, right? I think she's more of Nell is more of a victim, I think, in the show, whereas Hugh is more of, he chose to die, similar to how Danny kind of chose to die, and which led to the hauntings to stop. In this case, it sort of made that deal to save the children and in a way made the haunting stop again. Also, the bequeathment of the house and with it the secrets of the house was specifically from Hugh to Steven. He had to talk about this to Steven after the other children drove away to save Luke. Steven was the one who was informed, and which makes him the most responsible. As some of you guys know, I did read the book, and there are 4 things in particular that are sort of direct or indirect references or Easter eggs from the book that I picked up on this viewing. The first one happened right in the beginning during Steven's writing of their arriving at the house in his flash forward imagination. sort of thing, when he has the I am home speech. I kind of want to read the passage directly from the book itself, and if I'm not mistaken, I think there are like a couple of passages combined from different parts of the book. Okay, so yeah, I have my handy dandy book here, and the part where he goes, "This is a house without kindness, never meant to be lived in, not a place fit for people or for love or for hope." That is actually at the beginning, the end of the first paragraph of chapter 2, actually. And the sentence after that, which is not said in the book but ends the paragraph, is, "Exorcism cannot alter the countenance of a house. Hill House would stay as it was until it was destroyed." So that part of the passage and that part in the book is actually the beginning of chapter 2. At the end of chapter 1, Nell sees the house for the first time. So at the beginning of chapter 2, she's sort of describing the house as she sees it, as she is going to the house, about to enter it for the first time. And she sort of describes this house as something that is very macabre, very sort of ugly in a way, to maybe a normal person would see the house. If they saw it for the first time, they would think nobody would want to live here. And that is how she, at the beginning of the book at least, perceives that house. In this episode, after Stephen says that part, him and Hugh walk into the house, and he continues on his writing / narration of the events that happened in the past. But actually the flash forward is not real. Anyway, he says the part about when I am home, I am home. The I am home part, right before they climb up the stairs, in that part is twisted a little bit, because in the book it's said by Nell. So I'm going to read the book version. It says, "I am home, she thought, and stopped in wonder at the thought. I am home, home, she thought, now to climb." So in the show, it's I am home, I thought, right? Because he's writing it from his own perspective. And this is at the end of a paragraph as well. So I'll read the sentence before that. It says, "I have no stone lions for me, she thought, no oleanders. I have broken the spell of Hill House and somehow come inside. I am home, she thought, blah, blah, blah." So in this part, chapter 9 is the ending chapter of the book, but this is not the very end of the book. Eleanor says this in the book while she sort of has this episode, and she decides to climb the staircase in the library at the under the tower. So in the book, there's no like red room at the top of the staircase. That's a show thing. But in the book, the staircase is very unstable. So like when she climbs up that staircase, and then at this point we know the backstory of the Cranes, the original owners of the house, where I think one of them either fell from the staircase. I think one of the Crane wives fell from the staircase, or I think one of the daughters hanged herself from the staircase. Either both of those things happened or one of those things happened. I'm forgetting now. But the staircase is very unstable because it's old, and the book Luke character actually has to save Nell she's too afraid to climb back down when she sort of realizes where she is. And Luke is kind of an asshole in the book, and he like goes up there, and while he's going up there, he to guide her back down. But Luke in the book is like, he is a coward, but he has to do this because he's like the only guy there, except for Dr. Montague, and he sort of like lambasts Nell while he saves her, like, "You stupid crazy girl, what are you doing?" And this event is actually what leads to Dr. Montague deciding to send Nell home the very next day, because she's sort of lost her mind trying to go up there and basically not just put her own life at risk, put the project that they're doing at risk, and then also put Luke's life at risk. So when she's saying I am home, it's like the culmination of her insanity and her relationship oneness with the house, that part. So that is when that line was being said. All right, number 2 was the Groton poem. The Groton poem. This is a very interesting one. I'll find it as well. But this poem was said by Poppy Hill in the show just now. sort of like, it's very macabre and very random in a way. I'm not exactly, I'm kind of already forgetting why she was saying that right then to Hugh. But in the book, it's Luke and the Theo character. They're sort of out there in the woods, sort of like just as friends, I think. And they left Nell behind. I think they knew sort of Nell was acting weird, starting to act weird, and they sort of went to the forest and the woods without her and kind of left her behind. And she felt kind of betrayed, like kind of jealous, because she was not brought with them. I'm not sure exactly if that's actually what happened. It seemed like that's around the time it happened. And Luke decides to tell a story that is like a scary story, which is a poem he heard. It is kind of the end of the book. It's in chapter 8. And so like Nell at this point is almost like, everybody knows she's like kind of weird. Some of them actually think that she's the one causing some of the haunting to kind of, get attention, basically. It's kind of implied by Theo in some parts. But anyway, right before that poem was sung, that poem was actually sung, and it was sung by the Luke character in the book. And it says here, Luke sang in nasal monotone, emphasizing each word distinctly. And he was just telling a story about the Groton murders to Theo. And Eleanor was hiding, kind of spying on their date. Even though they're not really in a date, they're just hanging out. Interesting though, right after this, Theo says, "It's lovely, Luke, perfectly beautiful. I will never hear it again without thinking of you." And then Luke talks about how he plans on singing it to Arthur, which is another character. And then Eleanor actually says, "When are they gonna talk about me?" Eleanor wondered in the shadows. So like, yeah, Eleanor is like, she's spying on them, kind of to see if they're gonna talk about her, or if they're just like, she's having this weird sort of mental breakdown almost, where she's a bit paranoid and a bit like, why aren't they talking about me sort of thing, why are they leaving me behind? So yeah, Journey's End in Lover's Meeting, that's number 3, and that is a phrase that is repeated throughout a book from chapter 1 all the way until chapter 9. And the reasoning behind it is more thematic. Journey's End and Lover's Meeting. So this one is interesting, and you can do a deep delve into this phrasing from the book. And this phrase comes from Shakespeare's A Twelfth Night, which is a play about love. And this sort of is twisted for the book, because this book has really a lot of sort of themes of love, and romantic love is very much twisted and shifted in this book, because from the beginning of the book, even before she gets to Hill House, she keeps saying this phrase, Journey's End and Lover's Meeting. And then like in the beginning, it was like sort of because Luke is there and Nell is there, and they kind of try to not date, but like feel each other out, I guess, in a way kind of set up by Theo and like Journey's End and Lover's Meeting. But then Nell finds Luke boring, and it's implied that she's not attracted to him in any way. The closest person she is with is Theo, and like I said, Theo, she is implied to be, at least not just straight, like she has a female roommate who's implied to be her lover, depending on interpretation. And it's kind of sort of like implied that Nell is sort of falls in love with Theo, and she clearly doesn't fully understand that love for her. Nell has been a sheltered kid throughout her whole life. She's only taken care of her mother, and like until she passed away, which is the reason she left and went to Hill House. And like that doesn't work out either. And the closest relationship Theo has, the most intimate relationship, Nell has, the most intimate relationship Nell has in the book is not with either of the people. It's actually with the house itself. And she actually, in many ways, becomes one with the house. And Journey's End with Lover's Meeting, it's implied that the house is the lover in the situation, and she can never leave her lover anymore, and this is where her journey ends. And it's a kind of fucked up ending. Like I said in previous episodes, spoiler alert, she kills herself on the grounds of Hill house, which, you know, journeys end in lovers meeting. And it's even said by Olivia, right? And Hugh, you know, it's engraved in on his watch, which I didn't notice, I think, in the previous episodes that it said that. But then she says, oh no, the journey doesn't end. But I mean, the journey does end. It's just, it continues in this like, this other realm of the house realm, you know? So yeah. Committing suicide on the grounds of Hill House is something I've discussed as a reference to the book in multiple episodes, but I have to say it again here because we see that Hugh dies. I'm not exactly sure how he died, because he died at the top of the stairs, but like Hugh sort of gives his life to the house to save his children. He makes a deal with the house to save his children and to be with Olivia and Nell. And this sort of suicide at the house as a way to stay at the house forever is something that Nell decided in the book. And in the book, Nell decided this because she thinks she comes up on it on her own, and she also has that phrase, journeys end in lovers meeting. But through the sort of backstory of the Cranes, the original owners of the house, it's implied that whatever Nell is going through in the book, this is not the first time this house has done this to someone. And it's implied that the people that have died in the house before Nell does in the book, it's like almost the same reason. The house has a way to sort of turn people to want to stay there forever, and then the best way to do that is just to die there. And this is expanded upon into a whole mythology in this show. But yeah, so that connection of dying at the house to stay forever and never be separated from the house is something that is taken from the book. And the mythology, the mechanics, or however you want to describe it, the reasoning for it, they're different, but it's the same conclusion. And I have to, this one is the loosest interpretation or Easter egg, is in the episode Hugh mentions about to Stephen, this house is now yours, you have to keep the secret, implying that he also cannot sell the house for the sake of the Dudleys, for the sake of all the spirits in the house, right? You have to keep that house, you cannot destroy the house. So that bequeathment of the house to Stephen it's not really a theme that it's explored in the book or anything, but it's just similar to Luke. The Luke character in the house, right? So at the beginning, everybody hates the house. It's ugly. It's like haunted, right? But over time, like Luke even, in the book, Luke is a kleptomaniac. It's implied that he likes to steal things and like he's not very much like a stand-up citizen by any means. But like when he's supposed to inherit the house from his aunt, and at some point in the book, I think he discusses he implies that he's not gonna sell the house. Like he's looking forward to actually inheriting this house eventually and making it his own house. Like, so the whole inheriting of the house is sort of something that is common between the show and the book. I'm not gonna say they're related. It just worked out that way, maybe coincidentally, but you know, it's a connection. I'll take it. And finally, the last one is the Red Room. This one might be a stretch, but it was mentioned in the episode that the Red Room is sort of like the place that they're always in. Like it's Theo's dance room, it's the tree house. I remember in the previous episodes, I was like, what the fuck? There was a tree house, there was no tree house. It was the library, it was where Olivia was reading, and where else it was like the playroom for Nell, the video game room for Stephen. And like, it's all sort of shown with that vertical window. That vertical window is like common in all of those sort of places. And the whole time, they don't like remember going there, but that whole time, like that was the Red Room the whole time. I'm not sure if it's always in the same place. I do know that like the blueprints of the house are shady and they sort of shift a little bit. And I'm not sure if they're always going up those stairs to get to that room and they just don't remember it, or like they can walk into a room anywhere in the house and it leads them to the red room. Like in some sort of way, it's sort of a portal. Like the door isn't always in the same place. You know what I mean? Like it's not really explained, but that sort of mysterious architecture of the house, it's referenced in the opening credits, because I've mentioned this in previous episodes as well, how the opening credits show the house as a labyrinth. And that is sort of the labyrinth aspect of the house and the architecture of the house is pulled from the book as well. It's not like, it's more basic in the book, in which just the architecture and the hallways of the book are so maze-like that nobody knows how to get anywhere. Like you can get lost trying to get to the kitchen. It's not really explained in any way where we would think that the way to the different rooms are changing in the book, but they are sort of unclear. Like it takes them, like it's weird, like from them to get to their bedroom to the kitchen, like it's so hard that for the first few days, like Nell and Theo have no idea how to get to the kitchen, and they sort of have to call out to Dr. Montague, or Dr. Montague always has to lead them to the kitchen in the beginning. Like that sort of mysterious architecture of the house is carried on over to the show, but it's even built upon more than that, because that room that's full of black mold, right? Really, it's just a room full of black mold, somehow transforms itself depending on who needs that room. It's sort of like it shapes itself onto the person who's in the room, right? So that's sort of my interpretation of it in the show. And it's interesting that, like, I would have never thought that red room, just that one room, you know, is the whole sort of maze that we're talking about here. But it clicked in this episode that that's what's actually going on. Because every time, like even since the beginning of the series, I kept thinking like, there is no, like the show shows the house as a maze, but there is no maze. You know, it seems like I almost mentioned it. Like I almost wanted to mention it in my reviews. Like, you know, this house seems normal. This house seems normal. It's not like it is in the show. I mean, in the book, but in the reality, like it's one of the reveals that the fucking red room is all the rooms, right? Basically, and nobody knows how they get there. It's just always there. It's always locked unless the house wants you to go in that room.
Yeah, sorry if my thoughts are all over the place, guys. Like I'm still processing, really. So many thoughts are going on in my head, but for the sake of not making this episode too long, I don't want to keep blabbing on, but I think I've mentioned the main things. I'm excited to know what you guys think. I'm excited to, you know, hear your thoughts. Maybe there's things that I missed or things that you don't agree with me on. And I'm also excited to watch finally I can watch other videos on this show, like, and see what really is going on. I'm sure I missed a bunch of things and I can learn a lot of things. And you know me, I dabble in a little bit of writing, so it's always nice to know, you know, how people, you know, create these sorts of wonderful works of art. And I'm definitely gonna watch, you know, all the, you know, videos explaining their thoughts on what's actually happening on the show. And I think a few of you guys talked about like some Reddit threads that, you know, are focused on talking about this show, which is amazing. I didn't know about that, and I'm gonna check that out as well. So if you're still here and you listen to some of my ramblings at the end, thank you, I appreciate it. You know, I do this to have a discussion with you guys and also to share my experience of watching the show. And I also watch other people react to it as well and react to other shows. That's what I like to do, you know. And if you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more reactions by me, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you've already done both of those things, I appreciate it, but don't go away, don't unsubscribe. Look, we're gonna be here for the next Flanagan project, Midnight Mass, you know, whenever that comes out, and eventually maybe even a third haunting if we're lucky, right? But Midnight Mass seems to be not an anthology sort of series, like, so Rahul Kohli, I think the Owen character from Bly, will be in Midnight Mass. So, and Kate Siegel, I think, will also be in Midnight Mass. So like, that's coming, and I will be there for that. So don't you guys unsubscribe. I want you guys there with me as well. Yeah. So anyway, I've been talking too much. I do plan on maybe, if I have time, doing a separate non-reaction video about, you know, what it means to be a ghost in this sort of Hill House universe, if I'm lucky enough to have time to do it. That's sort of one of my dreams. It might not come out this month, definitely not this month, but it may not come out, you know, anytime soon. Maybe, you know, when I get time, hopefully I get to do it sometime in the next few months, because I also have a job and work, all that stuff. So I kind of want to do this. If you guys notice, I made this from page to screen sort of episode with the Clockwork Orange, and I kind of want to do the same thing for Hill House, but I'm not without the reaction part and sort of in a more video essay format. Maybe that'll happen, maybe it won't happen, but you know, stay tuned. Maybe you'll see it. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in the next reactions. And yeah, thanks for watching. And remember, until the next episode, easy does it.